Hey there nation, welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander CheapSkate, and we are back with another episode of the Underhive Wars. This time we are talking about the current rankings of all 10 of our gangs for our Sector 7 Dominion campaign. That is the current turf war that's going on. As you can see here, the map for our campaign is fully loaded. Every single territory that could be occupied and held within our Dominion campaign has now been taken. So now that takes us directly to the top of round 6, and traditionally speaking in a Necromunda campaign when this occurs, this is where we start going into our downtime period for each of our gangs. So this is kind of like the midway point for our campaign where we talk about each of the gangs' rankings and talk about exactly what's going to happen for the rest of the campaign. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and start off with the territories that are being held by each of the gangs. Alright, so let's go and talk about the territories that are being currently held by all of our gangs in our Sector 7 Turf War. As you can see, this is a hex map we have. We have 30 hexes spread out amongst our 10 gangs who have been fighting for supremacy the entire time. And down here, of course, is our color-coded key, so that way you guys can see that. Blue territories are owned by House Caldor, red territories by House Orlok, yellow territories by House Delac, green territories by House Van Saar, orange territories controlled by House Goliath, purple with Escher. Black is represented by the Gene Stealer cults, while the brown represents the Chaos cultists. The turquoise color is for the Enforcers, the Palatine Enforcers, Precinct 13, as well as the maroon colors. Those are for our Venator gang, Section 8. So as you can see, the territories are now fully completed and fully occupied for each of the gangs. So let's go and talk about each one first of all. We're going to talk about my gang first. My gang is House Caldor. As you can see, I currently hold 5 hexes of territory. I have a settlement as well as a slag furnace and old ruins. I also have a second settlement, which is also the territory that I started off with, as well as an archaeotech device. Now let's jump over to House Caldor. House Orlok. The iron sites of House Orlok, they currently only have their starting settlement as well as a drinking hole. So unfortunately, they didn't do very well this campaign so far. The Delacs, or the Sleeping Dogs, they have a settlement as well, but they also have 2 more things. They also have a gambling den. They also have, as you can see, our narco den as well. So a lot of vice and drugs, which kind of makes sense because, you know, that's what Delacs do best. Up next is 911 House Van Saar. They have 4 territories. They have a settlement as well as a corpse farm, a sludge sea, as well as a gambling den as well. So because of that, they're doing very well for themselves. After that, we have the orange territories held by the Pelagos Land Kings of House Goliath, who are actually doing very well this campaign. They control a settlement. They also control a fighting pit. They also have a Promethean cache as well as tunnels, so they're doing very well for themselves. Our current campaign leader, which are the Red Faction, the Gene Stealer cults, they actually hold 4 territories as well. They control a settlement, a refuse drift, as well as a rogue dock shop, and also a mine works. House Escher, the Killjoys for the purple territories, they also own 4 as well. They have a settlement. They also have a Stinger mold sprawl. They also control wastes as well as a synth still. And then, of course, we have our, our Chaos Cultists. Unfortunate for our Chaos Cultists, though, the only thing they control is a settlement is all they have for this point as well. And, of course, Precinct 13. Precinct 13 controls a settlement as always, but they also managed to capture a Bone Shrine, which they also did a police action for, getting themselves additional reputation points as well. And the reason why we're bringing that up is because the new Palatine Enforcer rules have came out. With the Book of Judgment for the Necromunda campaign rules. So because of that, we're going to kind of switch the campaign halfway with the rules for the Enforcers and start using those rule sets as well. And then finally, of course, we have a settlement that is controlled by Section 8, which is our Venator gang. And unfortunately for them, that was the only territory they were able to get their hands on because they haven't been doing very well during this campaign as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, pretty much makes up the territories for all the gangs in our Sector 7 Turf War. So with the territories over, let's go talk about our current ranking right now halfway through our Dominion campaign. Alright, as you can see, we have 10 gangs that are taking place within our Sector 7 Turf War for this Dominion campaign, and they are ranked in their order from left to right, left being first place, all the way to the right representing 10th place, and each of the models is the gang leader of their current gangs. And how we did our ranking system on this one so far is based on the total amount of reputation points they actually control to do our rankings. So up first, in very first place, is the Red Faction with a grand total of 23 reputation points. And coming in at a really good second, close second actually, is the Pelagos Land Kings of House Goliath. They're in at 22 points for the reputation. These guys kind of came in like a snake in the grass, just kind of really climbing up the charts on this one. After that, we have the Jury of House Caldor. They got 21 reputation points, so that's my gang. We're in 3rd place right now, so I'm kind of sad about that, but you know, them's the breaks. In 4th place is Precinct 13 of the Palatine Enforcers. They got 20 reputation points, so they're doing very well as well. 5th place are the Killjoys of House Escher. They are currently at 18 reputation points. Followed by in 6th place with 911 of House Van Sar with a grand total of 17 reputation points. After that, in 7th place is the Iron Sights of House Orlok. They have 13 reputation points. Followed by Section 8 of the Venators. They also have 13 reputation points as well. In 9th place, we have the Sleeping Dogs of House Delak. They are currently with 11 points. And in very last place are the People Eaters, our Chaos Cultists, at 2 reputation points. And that's because this gang has basically been revamped. So traditionally in a Dominion campaign, when you actually hit the midpoint like this, you actually go into a phase that's called downtime, where pretty much all the players take a week off. They get 125 creds to recruit as well as buy new equipment for themselves. All the injuries that they might have had were for previous injuries or in recovery are all done. They heal up, and then you go into what's called the Takeover Phase, where each of the gangs start fighting each other to capture one another's claimed territories, right? And that's how it pretty much works. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to have downtime for our campaign, but this rule, the downtime rule, has kind of given us a unique opportunity for us to actually do what I like to call a mini campaign. Because during downtime, it has been recommended that gangs can still fight each other if they want to. You know, maybe they don't want to take downtime because, you know, they don't want to stop killing each other's gang members, taking over territories, and etc. So because of that, we are going to do a little mini campaign, and we're going to talk about that next to represent the little window for our downtime period. Alright, so like I said before, we are going to concentrate on a little mini campaign for our Sector 7 Turf War to represent the downtime period that would normally happen in a Necromunda campaign. Now, during a downtime period when gangs fight, they cannot gain new territories, so that's not going to change. No, the territories will be changing hands during that time period. However, according to the rules, you're not supposed to be able to gain rewards like credits or reputation either, but I'm going to let this happen. And the reason why is because in the downtime campaign that we're going to have, the gangs that are going to be fighting in that downtime campaign are our 4 lowest ranking gangs. All 4 of my friends, Fresh Prince Bel-Air, Sergeant Sigmarine, Dark Lord Mac, as well as Scream of the Emo, has decided that they wanted to actually do a little mini campaign with each of their fighters. Alright, so you can see we have 4 gangs here. These are our 4 lowest gangs. That's the Iron Sights of House Orlok, that's played by Fresh Prince Bel-Air. Section 8, the Venator gang, played by my buddy Dark Lord Mac. That's the Sleeping Dogs of House Delak, played by my friend Sergeant Sigmarine, as well as the People Eaters of the Chaos Cultists, played from my friend O'Death. So they've decided they're actually going to do a little 4-man mini campaign, and we're calling that campaign series Tales of the Underdogs, because these guys are the 4 underdog gangs within our campaign. And what these 4 gangs will be doing is fighting each other in a round-robin style campaign. They'll be fighting each other, so it'll be a grand total of 6 battle reports between these 4 gangs. They will be able to earn reputation as well as credits. They will not be able to earn territory, however, but it's kind of helps them out, kind of, you know, get back up for the takeover phase. And the reason why we're doing this is because these 4 gangs in particular are severely outclassed by the other 6 gangs that they're fighting against for the campaign. There's easily a 5-point difference in reputation points between these guys as well as the other gangs in our campaign. These guys are also outclassed by at least 300 credits as well. So because of that, these gangs are kind of falling behind, and we're thinking that's what's kind of stacking them from being destroyed. So to kind of help out these gangs a little bit, and also to make it a little bit more entertaining, we're going to have these 4 gangs do a little mini campaign called Tales of the Underdogs, and then after that is done, our downtime for our campaign will be over with, and then we'll move on with the takeover phase for our Sector 7 Turf War. So for the very first battle round that will take place of this campaign, it's going to be in 3 rounds, for those of you who are wondering. The very first fight will be between the Iron Sights of House Orlok versus Section 8 of the Venators. And the second battle of that round will be between the Sleeping Dogs of House Delak versus the People Eaters of the Chaos Cultists. So this one's going to be kind of interesting because the scenarios we're going to run for these ones are what's called the Arbitrator rules. The Necromunda campaign system gives you a very unique set of rules for arbitrator campaigns and some really cool scenarios. So my friends have decided we're going to do those ones because they want to do those and, you know, show some variety in our battle reports and make it extremely interesting. So that's what we'll be doing for this one. And actually, after this little campaign information, they're actually going to go on our very first battle report about that for our Tales of the Underdogs, and that's going to be these 2 guys we'll be fighting in that battle report. So that's going to do it for this one, you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all day's greatest news about our hobby. That's going to do it for this one, you guys. You guys stay classy. Peace out, you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.